they made it into concrete blocks, and I found the blocks. And in some way, I felt like Hank Aaron's number 755 was, in this building, as imbued in these walls, and so they continue to inspire me. It's on a historic site, so it frames the view of an old summer house for a family from Savannah had in 1881. And speaking of near and dear to my heart, my daughter Marette is here. These are my daughters. That's Marette on the left, and that's Esme on the right. And I built Lightroom across the street from Decatur High School so that I would hope that they would come over and hang out. And thankfully they do, but I had no idea that they would bring all their friends. So sometimes we just stop working and start talking with their friends. So it's wonderful to have them part of my life and part of the studio's life. So Meryl's question had me thinking about an intern that I hired recently. She went to Auburn. Her name is Maria Sykes, and we started talking. She was working for me for about 6 months, and her father came in and brought this album. And my father is from Duck Hill, Mississippi. His name is Billy Joe Carpenter. My mother is from Brooklyn. So I grew up in New York. I was raised on the end of Long Island, and that's what was so intriguing about Mississippi, because I had been reading about Faulkner, and I was completely enamored with the work of Eudora Welty. And my father was from Duck Hill, just south of Oxford, where Faulkner's Roanoke is. And so I was talking to Maria's father, and he opened up this album, and I'm in the front row, right here, with the cowboy hat. And so I found out that Maria was my cousin. I had hired my cousin. Yet I didn't know. I didn't know that had happened. And so every summer we went to Mississippi. This is the Sykes family reunion. And this is Big G, who is a real inspiration in my life. That was my grandmother, who lived next door to us in New York. And then when I went to college, she went back down to Duck Hill and restored a beautiful church that her father had built in Duck Hill. Duck Hill is a town of 112 people with houses built around a hill that's shaped like a duck. So then I went up this past weekend, and I was talking to my parents, and my mother had found this drawing that I made when I was 16, and it is of our house. This is the house that I grew up in on Long Island in Mattatuck, and it was a beautiful Victorian with a view to Long Island Sound, and these beautiful trees, this big oak tree and this wonderful cypress. And it was up on top of a hill, and it really made me think about drawing, looking at this again, thinking how important is drawing? And to me, it's very important, because I draw every day. I get into a state when I'm drawing in my studio or in my studio classes at Southern Poly that the students really try to pull them out of the computer and into their sketchbooks and into the art of hand drawing, which I think is an art that has been lost and needs to be maintained, needs to be part of the way that we think about ideas. So that's what this drawing made me think of. And then I had the same year done this painting in Duck Hill of an old barn, a watercolor of an old barn. So my mom has these over the fireplace at her house, or my parents' house. And then I was thinking about Meryl's question, who are you? What are you doing? And I passed this truck, and I thought about this truck as a framing device. I thought, what a brilliant truck, And Oscar, there's the red, And, what a powerful idea to have a truck that's all about framing the view. And it was just parked there. In fact, I found out that it's a billboard that slides down here, a scrim on each side, but I thought it was such an amazing element, sculptural element itself. So I would like to get a truck like this someday. And this summer, I was with Esme and Moret down at Tybee Island, and I took some photographs from the top of the lighthouse down. And so photography is connected to drawing for me. In many ways, it's a way of seeing. That's really what drawing is. It's interrogating ideas. It's allowing your mind to be open to new ideas and to move through preconceptions. And I find that photography also allows me to do that because it's so immediate, you know. It's so much about seeing things that are in our lives in a new way. And I think that's what photography, certainly the work of Harry Callahan has always said that he sees the very simple things in life, whether it's the silhouette of someone's face or a field of grass. He allows us to see things in a new way. And then I thought about graphics and how important graphics are. And in that same view, these are all looking in different directions from the top of